Hey guys, my name is Sid. Welcome to another tech review. Today we're going to be checking out the Mavic Air 2, the latest drone to come out from DJI. Now DJI is one of the best manufacturers of drones in the world, and this is probably one of the best drones they've ever made. My friends over at Gadget let me borrow it for a couple of days to do this review. There's also a 10% discount code from Gadget if you guys are thinking of buying this drone. But let's get into the review. So today we're going to be checking out what all you get in the Fly More combo, which is what I would recommend you guys to get if you are planning to buy this drone. You get a lot of stuff in it that you kind of need and it's useful to have. Probably don't need to buy anything else for the drone. Now, I didn't get too much time to fly this drone. I only took it out once, but I did manage to get some amazing footage out of this. Now, I've recorded this video in 4K, so if you guys want to see the real full quality of it, I would suggest changing that quality button at the bottom of the video. Move it up all the way to 4K so you can see what this drone can really do. Now, there's a couple of things about this drone that are super interesting that make it different from the rest of DJI's lineup. The first thing I would say is this drone is capable of doing 4K 60 frames a second video, which even the Mavic Pro can't do. You have to move all the way up to a Phantom 4, which is quite a bit more expensive than this drone, and then only do you get 4K 60. So it's amazing that they've included 4K 60 in this drone. And the significance of that is that you're able to slow down the footage. For example, in this shot where I was shooting the flag, you'll see that the flag kind of looks like ultra smooth. When you shoot at 60 frames a second, you can slow down the video by about 50%, and that gives you that really cool cinematic look. It's the same for this other shot that I did where this guy was being towed by the boat. I quite like the ability to be able to slow down the footage that much. And this drone can even do ultra slow motion at 240 frames a second in 1080p. I didn't really get a chance to test that out. That's something even the Mavic Pro can't do. Video quality is not going to be as good in 240 frames a second, but it's a really nice feature to have. The second killer feature I think about this drone is the new remote control. Now, I wasn't a big fan when I first saw online videos of it because it looked quite big. This is what DJI has kind of been shipping with most of their drones lately. It's a pretty compact controller. And then when you look at this guy, it's quite a bit bigger and quite a bit thicker as well, a bit bulkier, a little bit difficult to carry in your bag. And they've kind of redesigned the whole thing. So instead of putting the phone at the bottom, you can just pull this part out. The antenna is actually integrated into the top of the remote itself. You do get a cable to connect directly to your phone, which makes sure that your image quality is really good. The thumbsticks are stored at the bottom of the remote over here. But what really makes this controller special and why I'm willing to accept all its bulkiness is that it's got OcuSync 2.0. OcuSync is a proprietary technology that's built by DJI that allows you to get amazing range and clarity of the video that you're watching on your phone that's mounted on this thing. Now this has a 10-kilometer range, which is amazing. That's even more than the Mavic Pro, which has about a 7-kilometer range. In all honesty, you're probably not going to fly that far because you probably want to have line of sight if you want to stay within legal limits of flying your drone. The good thing about that is because it's rated so high and the signal strength is so good, you're never going to get any dropped frames or disconnection with the drone. And in my experience of flying this drone, I didn't lose a single frame of the video while I was flying it. That's an amazingly reassuring thing when you're flying a drone. The last thing you want is for your controller to lose connection with the drone and then you're kind of stuck waiting for it to return to home or do its own thing. The quality that you see on your phone is at 1080p. You're getting a really good video feed directly from your drone onto the phone. You can really see minor details in the video as you're shooting. So overall, I'm willing to accept the extra bulk in order to get that extra performance when it comes to range and clarity on your phone. Another thing that I like about the remote is for these remotes, you kind of have to mount the phone at the bottom of the remote, whereas for this one, you have to mount it at the top. There's just something a bit more comfortable about having your phone at the top to view it as you control, as opposed to looking at it down like this. If they could shave down the size just a little bit, maybe make it like that tall instead of as big as it is, it'll make it much easier to just put it in your bag. But other than that, love the remote. As I spoke to you guys about the camera already, it does 4K 60 frames a second. It does slow motion. It can also shoot 48 megapixel photographs. Didn't really try that out much because I'm not that much into photography, but that should be amazing for most photographers because you will be able to take those shots and then zoom into them without losing quality. It also supports 8K hyperlapses. Didn't try that out again, but I have seen some other videos and the hyperlapse is so I guess it really depends on the wind conditions. Now it does have the same folding mechanism that you see in most of the modern DJI drones. So you open it this way, you've got a micro SD card on one side, and then you've got a USB-C port on the other side. In terms of sensors, you got sensors on the front, you got sensors at the bottom, and then you got sensors at the back. You do not have sensors on the top or on the sides. You have to be a little bit careful with this drone when you're flying it sideways, and if you have any obstacles above you like trees or something, this will not stop automatically. Now this drone has something that's called Air Sense. So this should be able to follow you automatically and weave through obstacles and continue sticking to you. Didn't really try that out since I have borrowed this drone. It's not my drone. I didn't want to take that risk. But from what I see from other people's videos, this looks pretty good. Now it does lack sensors in the top and the side. So if it doesn't see the obstacle from the front as it's flying, then you might be a little bit in trouble. So just be careful with it. Don't use it in like extremely crowded or urban environments. Now they have vastly improved the battery life on this drone compared to the previous drone. This drone gives you 32 minutes of flight time on a single battery, which is pretty amazing. I generally tend to fly maybe for 30 to 40 minutes, so 2 batteries is something that you would want to consider, and that's what you get in the Fly More combo. The Fly More combo comes with 2 extra batteries as well, so you'll get a total of 1.5 hours of flight time, which honestly is plenty, guys. Unless you're planning to shoot all day, 3 batteries should be more than sufficient for you. Now, in the Fly More combo, you get an extra set of propellers, you get the extra batteries, and for the first time ever, DJI has included a set of ND filters. Now, if you guys don't know what ND filters are, think of them as sunglasses for your camera. So now this is a really good thing to include in the Fly More combo, because this means that you can shoot in really bright sunlight. Like whenever I try to fly a drone, I'll try to tend to stick to about 5 in the evening, 6 in the evening when it's golden hour. Everything really looks beautiful in the drone shots. But that's not always the case, right? So you might want to fly it, at 10 in the morning. And that's when these ND filters will really come in handy, because they're giving you 3 different types of ND filters. You got a 16, you got a 64, and a 256 strength ND filter. So even if it's super duper bright and everything's getting overexposed, slap that ND filter on and you'll get much better looking footage. Now the stuff I shot was at about 3 in the afternoon, but I was able to bring that down using the 64 ND filter, and I think the results are amazing. If I wasn't using the ND filter, a lot of the background would probably be blown out. There are a couple of things about this drone that were a little bit interesting. The first time I took it out, I actually had the wrong propellers on it. So if you see on the top over here, there's a gray marking, and then this one has a black marking. So you have to make sure the right propellers on the right motor, because if you don't, the drone won't take off. Fortunately, DJI allows you to put any propeller on any motor. I wish they had differentiated the mechanism so that you couldn't put the wrong propeller on the wrong motor. That would have just made it a bit easier. I did go out, couldn't fly the drone, came back home, changed the propellers, had to go out again. Now the Fly More combo also comes with a triple battery charger. But this battery charger will only charge one battery at a time. So it'll look at the battery that already has the most amount of power in it, and it'll fill that up and then move to the next battery. I'm not sure why they aren't able to power all three batteries at the same time. It would have made it a lot quicker to charge up the batteries, but unfortunately that's the way it works. Now for the price, I think this is an extremely nice drone. It's for the prosumer. The Fly Mode combo costs 3,580 dirhams out here in Dubai, and just the drone is going to cost you 2,850. So I do think it's worth spending the extra 600 dirhams, and you will get a 10% discount if you use the code in the description. So make sure you use that. If you're just a beginner, I'd still suggest go for the DJI Mavic Mini. I'll leave my review for the Mavic Mini up here. That's it for the video, guys. Let me know what you think of the Mavic Air 2. If you guys like this video, hit that like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.